Hi, welcome to RMSM Studio. My name is Rama and we'll be talking today about ways supervisors can help those studying for the AREs. So number one, it's important to inform test takers, especially ones that are new to your office possibly, about resources you might have within the office. Maybe you have some copies of Architect's Handbook of Professional Practice. Maybe somebody in the office has recently passed or recently took the AREs, so it should be easy to share those materials. Another way supervisors can help ARE test takers in their offices is to, track down the resources that the office has and try and collect them all in one place. This will make it much easier for people who are taking the AREs to sort of instantly find the resources. And if you do this work in advance, it'll really cut down on the time that you need to sort of be running around the office and trying to find out where all those books went. And another important thing is to communicate how much you care, but don't overdo it. That can cause, unnecessary stress on test takers, and while it's important for them to know that you support their process, it can actually cause unnecessary stress on top of, the work that they're already doing if they feel like, oh, if I don't get this done, my supervisor will be upset, or it'll reflect negatively on me if I'm not done relatively quickly. Because the AREs are challenging enough of a process already, and especially since, failing is kind of part of the process, so feeling that kind of additional pressure can make it unnecessarily difficult. Also important for supervisors is to discuss what happens after the exam, and I highly recommend sort of figuring this out with your sort of office upper management before you talk with the test taker, and sort of get some consistency in the office's approach for what happens once somebody's registered. Is there going to be a salary increase? Is there going to be an increase in responsibilities? So it's very important to sort of know that ahead of time, so that, before somebody takes the test or finishes taking the test, they know what to expect from the office itself. And that can be a way less stressful process for you once the exams are over, so somebody isn't sort of expecting all of these things and then you can't deliver them because you never talked about it, and maybe it's not in the office's capacity to provide it. So it's very important to make sure you have those conversations well in advance. Normally these conversations can be instigated or started by the test takers, but that's one less thing on your plate to be worried about, and avoiding possible disappointment if the office can't provide what somebody expects once they're registered. And I would say the fourth thing that's a useful thing that supervisors can do for test takers is to really try and understand their study schedule, and try and make sure that things that are going on in their projects, as much as you can, obviously, you want people to be able to work and be dedicated to the projects that they're on, but still being knowledgeable and respectful of the fact that the AREs take a lot of time, lots of study hours, lots of commitment. And so if this means trying to reduce project deadlines when they have an actual exam maybe that weekend, so you try and organize your project so the person who's taking the exam isn't feeling so stressed and having everything piled on at once. And also look into their actual work schedule. Are they working consistently later hours, like at 6 p.m. or even further than that? If you know that somebody's putting in a lot of overtime on projects, that's really going to get in the way of their study schedule, especially if they're trying to study in the evenings. So obviously everybody's office operates differently, but if you want to be as supportive of the test-taking process as possible, it's very important to keep in mind, the time management conflicts and just trying to make things as easy as you can. So do encourage good time management and try to be as flexible as possible, while still trying to make sure that the work gets done.